Today, we're diving into a medical supply that might look simple, but its job is anything but. We're talking about absorbent ribbon gauze, and we're going to find out what makes this little strip of cotton so incredibly important. We all know what a regular bandage is for, right? A simple cut, a scrape on the surface. But what do you do when the wound isn't on the surface at all? For those deep cavities or tricky infected areas that need to heal from the inside out, well, a simple plaster just isn't going to cut it.
Okay, so let's get right into it. To really understand why this gauze is such a game changer, we first have to break down what it actually is.
Now, the most important word on this slide, the one you really need to remember, is packing. This stuff isn't designed to just cover a wound, it's made to fill it. Think of it as a very specific, very clean, tightly woven strip of cotton that's engineered to be placed deep inside a wound or a body cavity.
And if you look at how it's made, the details are pretty amazing. It's 100% cotton, which means it's super absorbent. And see that point about fast selvedged edges? That's a huge deal. It means the edges are woven so they won't fray or leave little threads behind, which is absolutely critical when this is inside someone's body. And the fact that it's made to BPC specs, that's the British Pharmacopoeia Commission, that basically means it meets an incredibly high standard for quality and purity.
So we have all these high-quality features, but how does that actually help a patient? Well, that very specific design we just talked about is exactly what leads to better healing and, better care overall. And this chart just lays it out perfectly. Because it's 100% cotton, it's not only really soft and gentle, but it can soak up a ton of fluid, which is exactly what you need in a draining wound. And maybe even more important, it's chemically inert. That just means the gauze itself isn't going to react with the body or mess with any medications. It's just pure, simple, non-irritating protection that lets the body do its job.
Okay, so we know what it is and we know why it works so well. Now for the really practical part. When would a doctor or nurse actually reach for ribbon gauze?
This is really its bread and butter. It gets used to pack sinuses or maybe a dental socket after a tooth is pulled, but its most powerful use is for open, infected wounds. By packing the wound, the gauze keeps it open and absorbs all the drainage. This is so important because it stops the skin on top from closing too soon and trapping all that infection inside. Instead, it gives the deep tissue a chance to heal properly, from the bottom all the way up to the top. Of course, anytime you're talking about a medical product that goes inside the body, safety is everything. It's the top priority. So let's cover the absolute non-negotiables. And here it is. This is the single most important rule. I really can't stress this enough. Because this gauze is going directly into deep wounds, it is absolutely essential that it is sterile right before it's used. Anything less is a huge risk for causing a new and potentially very serious infection.
And right alongside sterility is proper storage. It's just common sense, right? You need to keep the gauze in a cool, dry place. This makes sure it stays clean and its structure stays intact, so it's ready to go and completely effective when it's needed most. All right, we've covered a lot of ground, so let's do a really quick recap of the most important things to remember from this explainer. So if you take away 4 things, let them be these. First, ribbon gauze is for packing, not covering. Second, its power comes from being super absorbent but also super gentle and non-reactive. Third, it's a specialist tool for deep cavities and wounds to help them heal from the inside out. And last but most importantly, it absolutely must be sterile before it ever gets near a patient. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? It just goes to show how the right medical tool doesn't just treat a wound. It actually works with the body. It creates the perfect environment to help our amazing natural healing processes work even better. Thanks for tuning in to this explainer.